Hey guys, it is Sam from A Perry Life, and in today's video we are going to talk about JT. We're gonna talk about Jatavia. JT, half of the City Girls. Now, I think they're kind of going by their legal names, which I love a lot. Her stage name is JT, but her real name is Jatavia. I really love that they're embracing their real names, but that's a whole, maybe I'll add that in the middle of this video. But we're going to talk about JT, why I am supporting her project that will come out tomorrow, and why this era of her going independent and I don't know, I guess kind of leaning into her artistry, why I'm here for it, and why I think it's different from other artists, and yeah, why she's got my support. So just so you all know, I will not be editing this video. Whenever I say I'm going to edit a video, that puts extreme delay on it. There's a lot of procrastination that comes with that. So I will not edit this video. I will upload it automatically. And so there will be pauses. There will be moments where there probably should be an edit, but there will not. So just so you all know, I'm not a City Girls fan. I'm not a City Girls fan. We'll go out and put that out there into the universe so that you all know I was not a City Girls fan. I am not a City Girls fan. I am from Florida, so I do understand a lot of their lingo, a lot of their cravings, the things that they talk about. Like even one of JT's, and I know this isn't a Florida thing, but I feel so Florida related to it. One of her songs on her new album is called Lemon Pepper, which is it's wings. It's chicken wings. And people do kind of do other stuff with it now, but it's like nostalgia of us not wanting to cook with my parents. And it's like, let's get wings, and you get an assortment of wings, and someone's just like, get lemon pepper. And so that just brings me back to my days of growing up in Florida. But so I really I watched her documentary, which I'm not sure if you guys watched her documentary. It's only 30 minutes. It's a mini intro into her, and I loved it so much because one, I really like to listen to celebrities talk about their their journey to success. And then not only just their journey to success, when I look at the story of JT and Carisha becoming the City Girls, and the timing of what happened with JT, I think it's so incredible because unlike other artists, especially female artists, if we just kind of point out what female artist has gone to jail. I mean, besides Little Kim and Remy, I'm not sure what other female artists went to jail, got some hard time on their own, and was still successful after it. That's a whole nother thing. I have to maybe think about that and maybe do a video about that. But when she went off and went to jail, went to prison, it is when their careers were taking off. It was the peak of City Girls. So I really, I look at the situation of, Meg the Stallion in one song saying free JT. There were shirts. It was a movement for her without her. And so the feelings of what she felt while she was in prison, which she has discussed in several different interviews, and the lack of how you're fed something slowly and that kind of helps you get used to what's to come. JT went from the group went from 0 to 100, and JT was still in jail, still in prison, still in her same mindset as things became crazier, as she became well known without even having the moments of a few fans knowing who she was. It went from no one to everyone. And once again, you had big singers using her as part of their lyrics and part of their shtick. And so when I look at JT and I look at her leaving Florida, one, I 100% understand that. When I was a young child, I ran away twice. I was only gone for the most 3 days. But ran away twice, was dating older guys, was doing things I had no business doing. And one thing that saved me, that kind of put me in a position of success, the success that I have now, all of my glory here in New York, is getting out of Florida. it was like getting away from certain people, getting away from certain things, getting away from certain mentalities. Like in New York, like I feel like I'm forced to get out and do things. I feel like I want to do things. I want to try things. We're in Florida. It was such a redundant like state of mind of like, okay, on the weekends, let's drink and let's such and such. But there wasn't like, and I've said this to plenty of people before, and I know there will be comments if people watch this, there'll be comments about this, debating me or disagreeing with me. I've always thought that Florida is cold, has a lot of cultures, but it's not cultured. I don't think that the cultures blend. I don't think that the different groups of people like make a melting pot. I don't think that there's enough mixing and matching or mixing up to like make this cultured society. But there are a lot of cultures, which is great if you are from a specific culture and you are looking to, you want to connect with, people who are like-minded. You want your Honduran food, you want your this food, you want that food. Like, yeah, you'll find a lot of that in Florida. But like in New York, it's like you'll find people of a completely different culture appreciating people of a completely different culture. And so I understand her wanting to leave Florida and wanting to try something different and get away from the potential trouble, because you also find yourself when you're in Florida, especially if you're the one that is the successful one, you see that your peers aren't either as driven and or you feel like, or your mates feel guilty and kind of help people out when you're like, I can't take care of everyone, which is another reason why I think she found comfort in Cali. Plus, she's with Lil Uzi. He's not from Florida. I feel that Uzi is a person who appreciates cultures, and that's another reason why. And not saying if you stay in Florida, you don't appreciate cultures. That's not what I'm saying. But this is like being an African-American woman, a Black woman that is from Florida. I felt that I was always just with my people. And here in New York, I feel like I'm with everyone. So anyway, the journey of her leaving Florida, the journey of her finding herself, the journey of her in Carisha, it's funny. I felt like they were more, I would say successful, but like in demand when she was in prison. Like I do think that her being in prison was great marketing for their business. And I mean, I don't think a lot of people will think of it that way because it sounds so horrible, but I think that's what it was. And Carisha was like, I think a lot of people were supporting because Carisha seemed to be doing it on her own, or she was doing it on her own. And so you did have like this demand of like, what can this girl pull out of her hat? Or pull out of her hat when it's just her and her partner, who people consider JT to be the much more lyricist, or is that the word? She was better lyrically with rapping. She had more experience with rapping, even though they were both like still trying to figure it out. And I feel that like, yes, Carisha was on the ground running and doing what she needed to do. I feel that even though she didn't do the groundwork, I think that like JT didn't do groundwork. I feel like there's a lot of foundational things that JT did starting out with their group that actually like established it. And then it's unfortunate because I feel like the things that she probably did are the things that landed her ass in prison. So you got her doing things that would help them to become this successful group, but her getting caught because those things are illegal. And then like Carisha reaping the benefits of the group being like, I feel like the aesthetic of them having one person in prison and Carisha going on, like podcasts and all this other stuff. I feel like it was something that really made it, it was a topic of discussion. Like, how are you doing it? Blah, blah, blah. Who's supporting you while she's there? Like, I feel like in that process, it made the group once again much more desirable. And I feel like she got home and things fell flat. And she had to figure out what type of rapper she wanted to be. JT it is. And what she wanted to display and what she wanted to present. And it wasn't the it wasn't like the super twerking. Like, I think the song's Act Up or something. There's a song that the City Girls have with Cardi that only Carisha was able to do. And like all of the twerking and all of that and all of those like industry parties and stuff that, like Carisha was dating Diddy. And obviously we know what happened with him. And so, like, I feel like with JT being a person who has gone to prison, has gotten in trouble, her looking at Carisha and knowing the behind, like, because we don't know the behind the scenes stuff, but JT would, to an extent, know that, like, whatever they're doing over there, I don't want any parts. I'm not trying to go back to prison, especially because she's an offender now, so she doesn't want to be a repeat offender. I feel like that is something that also drew a wedge in their group. If that makes any sense, guys. I feel like Carisha being now with friends that partied more, friends that, you know, like have never had any trouble. So it'll be first offenders. So it'll be like, you know, people who feel like they have something to lose, but not a lot to lose. Whereas JT has been there, done that, and she feels she has everything to lose, and she just wants to appreciate and indulge and just chill. And I feel like that is something that broke the group apart. And I know that this is kind of a backstory, but with looking at JT have the courage to branch out on her own, because the female rap industry right now is hostile. It's really hostile. You have a lot of people in that like pool, that cesspool, that unless you are a big dog, which we can be honest, there's only like 4 big dogs right now. Like, we got the queen, Nicki Minaj, I Am a Barb, you know, you guys can argue over top 4, but you have, like, in my opinion, you have like a Nicki, a Doja, and then you have a bunch of others that are like fighting for 3, 4, 5 position. You have like the Megans, you have the Lottos, you have, I mean, right now you've got Glorilla, which she's a new artist, so we'll give her that. You have the, oh my gosh, what's the Ice Spice, who's a new artist. They're all fighting. You have the, of course, the JT, who independently or on her own is a new artist. And then you have like people who, like, I wouldn't even consider Cardi right now as a top rapper. I would say she's a top influencer who raps. And so she's also in that, like, she's in the conversation, but we can't really put her in the conversation because she only has 1 album. So when you have like that cesspool of women, I mean, you've got the top people, and then you've got like all these others down here who are trying to like make it, you know, and they all for the most part do good on to a degree. They all, for, you know, the Lottos, the Dolces, the Cupcakes, I mean, there's tons of people who we can throw in there that are just like, they're all like fighting for fans, you know what I mean? And this is one, when I think of JT, I think of her having a legitimate fan base that she's building that is not relying on another. I mean, even we think of Bia, we think of, oh my God, the Brat, the Asian doll, whatever, Asian the Brat, whatever the name are. You think of all those girls, you think of like people who are actually out there getting their own fan base. JT's like the only one. JT is the only one that like is doing the old school footwork of building a fan base. It's not that she's doing necessarily like you know, like really club hosting or whatever, which I know is really profitable for people. It's like concerts that she's doing. She only has 3 songs now. And at one point in time, I think she only had 2 songs when she was starting it out. And in her documentary, if you guys have not seen it, once again, it's just like 27 minutes. It's worth the watch. You know, she talks about like how it wasn't a tour, how it was just people who she had released the song, and there were a couple of, you know, venues who had asked her to come, and then she did that, and before you knew it, it was just like several of them that had asked, and a tour of sort was created. And I feel like that's such a natural way to create or to make relationships, to get connected with fans. If you look at like some of the top, I don't want to just say rappers, but like people who have been successful, something that they've done that's been pretty like, it's been really instrumental, especially the older school ones, is like getting like, you know, knocking on doors, kind of like how politicians would do, knocking on doors, making relationships with people who would want to support you. And so with that, because I don't feel that it's gimmicks of twerking, which if I think of certain celebrities now, I mean, and this is kind of low, and I don't like this part. And I know that these two girls have gotten into it, Glorilla and JT, but I don't like the gimmicks of the moose knuckle. I think it's tasteless. And I like that. I don't know who asked her to twerk, but JT was like, no, like that's not, I'm a lady. And I like that, not that she wouldn't twerk, but it's like, if I'm going to twerk, I'm going to twerk because I want to, not because it is a part of, like, there was that video that recently went around with Ice Spice twerking, and she just looked bored. She was like, and then she just kind of runs off. The main point of that is that, like, it's part of her gimmick, and so she has to do it now. I mean, you have to do it. That's when she gets the crowd cheering. If you think of, I don't look at Glorilla as an artist who is sexy. Like, I don't think of her sex appeal, but it kind of seems like she's kind of leaning into that with, I don't know if she got a boob job. I think she did, but I feel like one point in time she kind of downed people who did. Maybe, don't quote me on that. But then I feel like that's like celebrity pressure, like industry pressure. Same thing with Coi Leray. Coi Leray now is talking about getting a boob job, but she's been like super sexual. And it's like, okay, like you've already twerked, bend over, did a split, showed your, spread legs. Like you've already done all of that. Like what more do you need to show us that you have? Like, what are you going to do with these boobs? And I do like that, I feel that JT is like sensual. I don't think that it's naked. I think it's nudity. When I think of her, like where she is and her artistry and thinking outside of the box and her hairstyles. And even if people are like, oh, your hair looks stupid because it's like the part is here and she's got a swoop. It's like her thing. I know a lot of people don't like it, or some people don't like it. But I also think that like this is another reason, and this will be the last reason out in this video. I do think that her being a brown-skinned girl into the industry, and sorry, this is my new braids, guys. It's like my back is like hot with this hair, so that's why I keep kind of like separating it. But I do feel that they don't get enough of a shakeup, not a shakeup, but like an option, like how light-skinned girls do, like how Sweetie is so, and it's nothing that Sweetie is, I don't knock her hustle, and I like Sweetie. I'm not a Sweetie non-fan or hater or whatever. But like the success that Sweetie has and the relevance in even some of the, like the fact that she did a song with Doja, and we like, no one looks at Sweetie as like a serious artist, but if you look at her, like the budgeting for her music videos and things of that sort, a lot of that has to do with her privilege. If you think of like, even though I know Lotto was on a show for rapping or whatever, a lot of her success, I mean, she has a feature with Mariah Carey. A lot of her success is her privilege. I mean, Doja is all around. We can't even talk about Doja. She's privileged. She did the groundwork. We all remember the Moo song for Doja. But she's a light-skinned woman. If you think of like the amount of women who are dark-skinned, I mean, Nicki Minaj, I'm a bard, but even Nicki isn't like dark-skinned, she's a black woman, but Nicki and I do not have the same skin tone. I don't even think I have a piece of color, like a piece of my skin, even, mind you, I haven't been in the sun. I don't think I have a piece of my body that even looks like Nicki when she would be in the sun. You know what I mean? So when I think of like her and I think of what she's doing and I think of the hate she's gotten, I think there's a lot of people just being upset or not used to Black women being like, or not wanting Black women in those spaces. And I think that people don't even realize that they are doing this to her because she's Black. That makes any sense. Like, I think like people look at it, oh, who does she think she is? Why is she going on tour? She only has like 2-3 songs. I haven't seen people complain about certain people doing, with that. Ice Spice just came out with, I really wish that JT was at Wireless, but she doesn't have enough solo songs. Because people know her music. If you look at Ice Spice, she just came out with her EP, her first album. It's 10 songs, and she's released 4 of the songs, the singles. So you're getting 6 songs on her album. And let's think about it. Ice Spice releases TikTok music. So it's going to be like a minute and a half or something like that. So the entire album is going to be like what? You know what I mean? Like, at least like JT's, I think she's got like 14 songs on her album or something. Like, it seems I mean, and it's not an album either. It's a mixtape, I think it is. So I'm going to support it. I'm going to support what she's doing. I like her growth. I like her story. I'm interested as a person who I was not like, I'm not a huge rap fan. I'm a barb. I buy the music, but I'm not a person that's going to be sitting there rap battling with somebody and, you know, outside of a stadium before a Nicki concert. No. I would sit there and be like, yes, 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 I love it. I love it. With my phone recording them, but I will not be the person that sits there and tries to duke it out with somebody. So I just wanted to kind of like come on here and talk about why I'm supporting JT. I hope all of these reasons, or the story that I've given you, I hope you support her as well. Her album comes out tomorrow and I'm super excited about it. I'm flying back to Italy tonight. I'm so close to ordering some lemon pepper rings and bringing them with me to Italy so that I can eat them while I sit and wait for my fiance who's going to meet me at the airport. Like, I want to sit and wait and listen and listen to her video while I eat lemon pepper wings, or her album. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna support it, and I really hope the best for her. I know some clips, some people are like, "Oh my God, this is not good," but I'm ready for it. I'm ready, and I hope you guys are as well. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the doctor and then finish my day. My apartment here in New York is a mess, and I don't want to leave it a mess because I don't want to come back to a mess. So I will see you all in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I got my little computer here. And if you're interested in any concierge and consultations in Italy, please do go to my website, aperiolife.com, and book a consultation. That's it, guys. Ciao, ciao.